Alright, so I just, dude, what the fuck? Okay, so I just dumped a video talking about homelessness and how if and when it starts to end up in popular and trending, that I have my own particular theory and belief as to what that means and what is coming next. Okay, I'm not saying this for fear porn or panic or nothing. So I talk about how Jim Rizzoli just posted a video about homelessness, okay? And it disturbed me. And so I shared my prediction. And this is just my prediction. Nobody ever said what I have said when I said, and my prediction is when homelessness starts to become a popular subject to talk about on platforms like BitChute and Odyssey and Rumble and YouTube, that is the sign. In my own opinion, my prediction is when that happens, if and when that happens, that is the sign that shit is about to fly the fuck off the handle. For real, okay? That's just my theory. And so when I saw that Jim Rizzoli video, it disturbed me because I am almost 100% convinced that my theory is right. And so then I decided to share it. I've shared it many times, okay? So I post the video, then I go back to BitChute and I'm just scrolling through popular because there is nothing else to watch. If you go into the all section, it's a massive clusterfuck. You can't make sense of the all section at all, which forces you to popular. And so that's the only reason I'm at popular, is because there is nothing else. This is media. This is how controlled the precious platform of BitChute and Odyssey and Rumble. They're all as controlled as mainstream media. But nobody talks about this, okay? So I'm in popular right after I dumped that video, looking to see what else. And then there's one video where I'm like, I didn't want to click on it, but then I scrolled and I realized, well, it's the only one. And so I click on it and look at this. Let's look at it together.
From drugs, these illegals are brought in and given everything like they're movie stars.
Listen to this.
Earth unencumbered by people that want to suppress you and force you to do things that you don't want to do and things that you don't believe in. So they have to force the issue, and they have an agenda. It's called Agenda 2030.
Number one, no
in order to get to Agenda 2030, they need to start a war to get rid of the people like myself and probably like you guys that are listening. And in order to do that, they're flooding the country. They're absolutely flooding the country when our country is already overflowing. Ever since the quote-unquote pandemic, I have never seen more homeless people in every state. It used to just be the warm states, but now it's absolutely every state. Homelessness is off the hook, and the numbers they give are low, because who's going out there and counting them? Nobody, really. They're just guesstimating. So while American citizens die in the streets from homelessness, from hunger, from thirst, from drugs, these illegals are brought in and given everything like they're movie stars.
Okay. I had just got done saying that when this starts to become popular and all these greatest hits like Richie from Boston start talking about it and it starts showing up in popular, that means, in my opinion, my prediction is that means that it's about to truly go off. Like, shit is really about to go down, okay? So then I dump that video, and then I'm scrolling through BitChute, and the only video I can find, I click on it, and here it is, Richie from Boston talking about homelessness. So I'm just saying, again, I'm not trying to say this for fear porn or to spread panic. There's no need to panic, okay? And I could be wrong, Any and everything I say could be wrong. in my heart of hearts, that's what I believe, is that if and when this subject starts to become popular and trending on platforms like BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, and even YouTube, in my heart of hearts, I believe that that will be the sign to take immediate action. That it's over, dude. It's over. This whole idea of I can just keep going to work and everything will just work itself, like it's done. It's done. Put a fucking fork in it. Get ready for pure insanity. Get ready for, prepare for the worst. If homelessness starts to become a popular subject in the popular and trending sections on BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey and YouTube, that means it's time for you to seriously prepare. And okay, and so I just dumped that video. Then I click on a video. So let's look at, what is this video? This video is titled, "Is 2025 the apocalypse for 75% of Americans?" That is the video I clicked on. So let's go look at this in real time. Let me put I don't have my old man glasses. So this is what I did. After I dumped that video talking about how Jim Rizzoli had just posted this video on homelessness, I went back to popular and I started scrolling through, like, what are people talking about here? And, it's all the same bullshit that everybody's sick of, that they just go on and on and on about. And so I'm just scrolling through and I'm like, yeah, okay, blah, 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 right? On and on until I get to, there's Jim Rizzoli's video about homelessness. Like, that was what I was talking about. That was, okay, and so then I keep scrolling, blah, 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 blah. The most important story of the decade. Yeah, okay. And there it is. Is 2025 the apocalypse for 75% of Americans? Think about it. So I reluctantly clicked on that, mostly out of curiosity. Is this video have some similar connection to homelessness, just out of curiosity? And then what I found is exactly that. Okay.
Heard of a day.
Where is
drug packers coming to my ranch? They're
war to get rid of the people like myself and probably like you guys that are listening. And in order to do that, they're flooding the country. They're absolutely flooding the country when our country is already overflowing. Ever since the quote-unquote pandemic, I have never seen more homeless people in every state. It used to just be the warm states, but now it's absolutely every state. Homelessness is off the hook. And the numbers they give are low. Because who's going out there and...
See, so let me go into... Okay, look. I saw this coming. That homelessness is going to... And the reason that I saw it coming is because I was working in the homeless service provider field. I worked in it for 10 years doing street outreach. And after 10 years, I said, fuck this. Because of that very reason. Every year, homelessness gets worse. And all these programs, it's the whole thing about the homeless service provider industry, it's all a lie. Like, if you work for the homeless service provider industry, you work for Satan him goddamn self. The whole thing is a lie. The homeless service provider field isn't doing anything to help homeless people. All it's doing is taking all your tax dollars and claiming they're doing something when they're doing nothing, and arguably are making homelessness worse, likely intentionally. And I saw, of the 10 years I worked in the homeless service provider field, I saw every year it got worse. And every year they would say the same thing. They would say the same old thing, same old story. Meanwhile, homelessness kept getting worse. And so I knew that homelessness is one of the biggest issues that nobody talks about. And the only time people are going to start talking about homelessness is when it's too late. And that's when I quit my career. I left. I sold everything, moved into my van, and drove off. Drove away without any destination at all, just left. That's how I saw it. And I knew that because homelessness is getting this bad, this quick, and everybody's ignoring it, that it's some like martial law type of event is going to happen very soon. And then, and I tried to warn people for years before I quit my job. I was trying to warn people about this. If you allow your society to treat these homeless people like fucking animals and shit, they're gonna start coming for all of you next. And I already knew it was, but you can't convince a person of a thing when their paycheck is dependent upon them being ignorant of it. And all of you people's paycheck is dependent upon you being ignorant of the entire subject of homelessness in its entirety. Your very paycheck depends on it. That's why you and the society you live in completely ignores homelessness. And like I said, I knew that it was going to get ignored to the point where you can't ignore it, to where it's too late. By the time society looks at homelessness, it'll already be too late. By the time society stops ignoring homelessness, it will already be too late. The lockdowns, the pods, all this shit will already be fucking enforced. It's already too late. It is already too late. That's why I'm saying that when it becomes it's already too late, like 5 years ago. And so what would be the reason for it to become a popular subject when it's already 5 years too late? Y'all are fucked. That's it. It's over. It's done. It's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. And it's largely due to the society that you live in, their perpetual ignorance of homelessness. There is a very specific reason that your society ignores homelessness. It's not innocent ignorance. It is designed specifically for that reason to roll all of this out. Like the pods, you will own nothing and be happy. It's all designed to roll that out. And so, because it's already too late to address homelessness, what would be the point of it becoming popular is because the system, the people in control, are the ones that always roll out every narrative. No matter what the narrative is, it's not an original narrative based on the free thought of some community. It is a controlled narrative that is placed in these platforms like BitChute. So if and when homelessness becomes popular, which now Richie from Boston is talking about it, Jim Rizzoli and Richie from Boston, who's next? When it becomes popular, it is because by design that it is become popular on BitChute. It is by design that Richie from Boston is all of a sudden talking about how shocked he is that homelessness is everywhere. I saw, dude, fucking, yeah. Stevie Wonder saw this coming, that homelessness is going to get worse and worse to the point where you can't ignore it anymore. And people like Richie from Boston are going to start talking about it. Like, I've never seen this much homelessness. Like, it's every fucking where. Yeah. I've been screaming from the rooftops about this since like 2008 or 2009. Nobody listens. But see, when Richie from Boston talks about it, for some reason, then it's important, right? No. When Richie from Boston starts talking about it, that means it's too late. That means you're fucked. You're fucked. Prepare for a life of homelessness. Dude, there are people that have been watching my channel that I ran for 7 or 8 years. They know that this isn't something new, that I'm just talking about it now. I've been saying prepare for life. All this shit I've been saying for years. And there are people that know I have. And these same people that know I've been talking about it for years, they're going to ignore that I was talking about it. But then they're going to put Jim Rizzoli on a pedestal and Richie from Boston on a pedestal for talking about it. When those motherfuckers, they won't ever talk about something unless they get permission to do so by their handlers. Their handlers placed them in popular and trending. And you don't understand this? So I'm not saying that it's happening because I've seen the creep. I've seen them creep homelessness in slowly, almost as if they're just experimenting to see what happens. And so it'll show up in trend or popular and every once in a while trending, a little bit. They'll creep it in. But that Richie from Boston is talking about it? That is odd. I'm telling you, I've been watching for this to happen because my prediction for many years now has been that when this subject becomes popular, that is the sign for me. You do whatever the fuck you think, but for me, that is the sign that this whole thing is coming crashing down. The whole fucking thing has come crashing down. And I'm not going to be around. I am not going to be around. I know how to be truly homeless. Not some fucking fake phobo. Like Jim Rizzoli likes to post that video of these phobos, fake homeless people. I've been totally homeless in my Gap clothes, bro. Won't somebody please hire me for a Gap commercial or something? I'm just totally eating bananas and bread. Totally. Phobos. Whatever, dude. I'm telling you. But no, it appears as though this is, I'm going to say probably coming soon. That it's going to start becoming more of a popular subject. Richie from Boston is going to start talking more and more about homelessness and how fucking insane it is that he's seeing so many homeless people now compared to what he did 5 years ago or whatever. And that to Richie from Boston, he's like, dude, there's something going on. I already know what it is. See, he doesn't totally know. I can go through and pick through what he's saying, and I can see where he doesn't understand. But see, that's his problem. And all those people like him. Like that Jim Rizzoli can't discern a phobo from a real homeless person. That's Jim Rizzoli's problem. And he might not think it's his problem, but it is. It's a massive problem. It's a severe problem. To not be able to discern a fake hobo, a phobo from a real homeless person, you are a sheeple. You don't understand what the fuck is going on here. And same with Richie from Boston. His lack of understanding of how homelessness is related to all of this stuff about Klaus Schwab, the clot shots, everything else. He's never talked about it until now. I've been talking about it just on my channel alone for 7 or 8 years. Now, all of a sudden, Richie from Boston is talking about it. That means he doesn't understand. He hasn't connected the dots. And the reason these people haven't connected the dots on homelessness as it relates to everything is because they're sheeple. They cannot think outside of the programming they have been programmed to think. So homelessness doesn't even cross their mind. There are no dots to connect with homelessness to anything until right now. Now, Richie from Boston is connecting the dots to homelessness. All of a sudden, right now, today, what's today's date? What is today's date? April 11th. April 11th of 2025, all of a sudden, Richie from Boston is connecting the dots on homelessness and how it relates to everything regarding martial law, clot shots, genocide, all of this. Now, all of a sudden, dude, I have been doing this since like 2008 or 2009. I have been talking about. Right now, you ain't seen nothing. If this is the only channel of mine you've seen, like I'm telling you, my last channel, which I had YouTube fucking shut it completely down and deleted all my videos because I was talking about COVID and the Biden election and how all this relates to homelessness. So I'm like talking about these things because they relate with homelessness. And so YouTube deleted my entire channel without even warning. So I moved over to BitChute. And you know, like, dude, like, you don't even understand. You haven't seen nothing if this is the first channel of mine you ever seen. There's a guy who's subscribed to me. Fuck, I forgot what his name is. Every once in a while he shows up. But he'd been watching my channel like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. And he's one of my 8 subscribers that knows me from my channel, The Angry Hobo. He knows me as The Angry Hobo. Ask him. I have been talking about this. And now all of a sudden, today, Richie from Boston is talking about it. All of a sudden, Richie from Boston has connected the dots. Now that it's way too late. This is what I'm saying. It's already way too late. And so, being way too late, like, what would be the point of bringing it up? What would be the point of popular and trending channels bringing it up now when they should have been bringing it up at like 10 years ago? They should have been connecting the dots like 10 years ago. But now, all of a sudden, they're connecting the dots. April 11th, 2025, now they're connecting the dots. And these are going to be the guys that are going to talk like they're the experts on how homelessness, the pattern recognition of how homelessness relates to all of this stuff. Now, all of a sudden, when I've been doing it for I know it way better than these guys. The subject itself. And it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And that's why I'm trying to tell you that watch for this. Watch for this. When these guys start talking about it on popular and trending, keep an eye on it. And if you just keep in mind what I'm saying and you just keep an eye on it, it will become apparent. You'll see what I'm saying. If you're mindful of what I'm saying and you just keep an eye on it a little bit, just keep a pulse on what is being talked about. And you start to notice that these greatest hits channels start talking about homelessness and connecting the dots of homelessness and how it relates to everything. And it starts to become like a somewhat regular thing on popular and trending. Dude, please remember what I'm saying is that is the sign that is there for you to tip you off to what is coming next. Because what is coming next after that is going to be craziness, like martial law, riots, pure insanity, possibly even, genocide where you'll start to literally see people dropping like flies from shots or whatever, because, something big is going down if these popular and trending channels are talking about homelessness and connecting homelessness to all this stuff. Acknowledging pattern recognition of how homelessness relates to all this stuff. When these greatest hits channels start doing that and you start noticing it, I'm telling you, that is the sign that the shit show is only just begun and shit is about to it's gonna get bad, dude. It's gonna get bad quick. It's gonna get bad quick. And I don't know what to tell you as far as advice, except what I would tell you is make sure that you're prepared. When you see that happen, start going through your prepping gear, whatever you have, your camping gear, any and everything you have. Just start to get ready that something might happen. Because I'm telling you, in my heart of hearts, something is going to happen when it gets to that point. You can use social media as a barometer to measure where we are at in the shit hits the fan clock, on the shit hits the fan clock. And that is the alarm going off telling you that, okay, it's time to get your ass up and start getting busy and start doing something. Because if you don't, you're going to be in the middle of a big fucking riot or a massive fucking lockdown or even something worse. And again, this isn't to cause panic or fear porn or nothing. This is just my thoughts. So again, but me, I know what I know. I already have predicted that this is going to happen many years ago. And now it's starting to slowly creep in much more noticeably than it ever has. And so I'm going to continue to keep a pulse on it. I will keep you updated as it starts to, if and when it starts to increase more and more. I will post videos telling my 8 subscribers, dude, it's getting worse. It's starting to become a popular thing. And then I will continue to reiterate, dude, in my heart of hearts opinion, this is the sign that it's time to unplug. It's time to cut your ties with all these attachments to society, and it is time to really start looking at this through the John Nada They Live sunglasses. Okay. So I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know, but strange coincidence that 2 videos in a row, the first 2 that I click on BitChute, are both about homelessness, and it's unpopular. And one of the 2 is the great Richie from Boston. I have been nothing but frustrated with that guy since I first discovered him because he never talks about homelessness. Now all of a sudden, for the first time, he's actually connecting the dots on how homelessness is related to all this shit. He's now sharing his pattern recognition about homelessness relates to all this stuff when he never has before. Never has. Never. We'll see.